You are not who they think you are. You never were. Japan has 200,000 organized crime members. You are the only woman who was ever one of them, and you chose it. Osaka, 1987. You grew up in a neighborhood where everyone knows everyone, and everyone knows who runs it. Not the police, not the city council, the men in the black suits. You see them every day, outside the pachinko parlor, outside the construction office on the corner. They bow deeply when the older ones walk past. They don't raise their voices. They don't have to. You're 12 years old and you think this is just how the world works. You are not wrong. Your father left when you were 9. Your mother works 2 jobs. Your older brother started running errands for the men in the black suits at 14. He comes home with money. He doesn't say where it's from. You watch him change. The walk, the cigarette, the way he stops looking at the floor. You file that away. You're 15 when you first understand what you are. 3 boys, 1 girl. You don't know her. You've never spoken to her. But you walk into the middle of it anyway. You don't think about it. You don't calculate odds. You don't feel afraid. You feel clarity. 2 minutes later, the boys are on the ground, and you are standing there with blood on your knuckles and your breathing is completely even. The girl runs. The crowd disperses. You look at your hands. And for the first time in your life, you feel like yourself. You are 19. Your friend calls at 11 p.m., voice tight, wrong kind of tight. She says, "They have me. Come." You don't ask who. You already know. You don't call the police. You don't tell your mother. You find a metal pipe behind the convenience store and you walk toward the sound of the problem. 4 of them. 1 of you. They laugh first. Then they stop laughing. What happens next takes 40 seconds. You put 2 of them down hard enough that they don't get back up. The other 2 scatter. Your friend is fine. Shaken, but fine. You are standing in the alley with the pipe at your side and your heart rate is 62 beats per minute. Someone saw it. The next day, a man in a black suit appears at your door. He doesn't threaten you, he doesn't explain. He just says, "Tanaka-san wants to meet." And something in you, the part that has been waiting your whole life for someone to see what you are, says yes. He is a man who has built an empire by understanding people in 5 seconds. He looks at you for a long time. Then he says, "Even if you are a woman, you must become Yakuza." It is not a question. You don't treat it like one. They dress you in a man's kimono, not because you're pretending to be a man, because there is no ceremony for what you are. There has never been one. They use the only ceremony they have. You stand still while they fold and tie. You don't fidget, you don't speak. You understand even then that this moment is the last one before the door closes. You can still leave. You don't leave. The Sakazuki, the sake cup ceremony that has sealed every Yakuza oath since before your grandfather was born. You kneel in correct position on tatami that is older than you are. The Oyabun, your boss, lifts his cup, drinks, pours, slides it to you. You lift the cup. You drink. That's it. That's the whole thing. 45 years of ritual in 30 seconds of silence, and now you belong to something that will never fully let you go. You walk home through Osaka at 2 a.m. The city looks the same. You are not the same. You run through the math. You know what you signed. You know what it costs to leave. You know that from this moment forward, you are either Yakuza or you are an enemy of Yakuza. There is no civilian option left. You sleep better than you have in years. Your first job is debt collection. The man owes 40,000 yen. He's been stalling for 3 weeks. They send you because they want to see what you do. You walk in at 9 a.m. when the shop opens. You stand at the counter. You don't raise your voice, you don't touch anything, you don't threaten. You just stand there and look at him. He pays in 11 minutes. You bring the envelope back without a word missing. Word travels fast in a closed world. The woman who doesn't flinch, the woman who doesn't negotiate, the woman who has never, not once, lost a physical confrontation with a man. You don't cultivate the reputation, you just do the work. But reputations in this world are currency, and yours is compounding. Ryubitsume is how the Yakuza apologizes. A subordinate member makes a mistake that costs the organization. The penance is the tip of the little finger, cut off at the joint, wrapped in cloth, presented to the person you have wronged. A member of your cell failed a collection, got drunk, lost the envelope. The boss is owed the apology. The member, a man twice your age, is shaking. He cannot do it. His hands won't hold the knife steady. He looks at you. You pick up the knife. Your hands are completely still. You do it clean, one motion, the way you do everything. After that, they call you sensei of the cut. Men who cannot perform their own yubitsume come to you. You do not enjoy it. You are simply the best at it. There is a difference. You are careful to remember which one it is. You are 26. You have collected more debt, resolved more disputes, and put more difficult men on the ground than anyone in the cell. They promote Kenji. Kenji has been here 4 years, you have been here 7. Nobody explains, nobody has to. The organization is 1,000 years old and it has never had a female rank above Kobun. You knew this going in. You bow, you say nothing. You go back to work, but something shifts. Quiet, below the surface. A small cold thing that wasn't there before. The boss sees you. He cannot change what the organization is, but he gives you what he can. Your own operation. A protection circuit. 3 blocks of businesses that answer to you. You collect, you mediate, you resolve, you keep the percentage. It is not rank, it is function. And in the Yakuza, function is sometimes more real than rank. You take the key. You run your 3 blocks better than anyone has run anything in this organization in a decade. You get the tattoo when you are 28, not because you have to, because you choose to. The Irizumi, the full-body tattoo, is the mark that says you are inside this world permanently. It takes 11 sessions over 8 months. You do not make a sound during any of them. When it is finished, you look at it in the mirror for a long time. Koi rising through waves on the left shoulder, Oni demon on the right, the dragon beginning at the base of the spine. You understand what you have done. This is not decoration. This is documentation. You have written yourself into a world that cannot be unwritten. You try to come back. The world has moved on without you. You are 31, and the math has changed. You stare at the test for a long time. You are many things. You are pragmatic above all, and the calculation is simple. You cannot raise a child inside this world, and you cannot raise a child outside this world with this face, with these hands, with this name, unless you leave. So you decide to leave. You go to the boss. You don't lie. You don't make excuses. You tell him exactly what you are telling him and why. He is quiet for a very long time. Then he says, "You were never really ours to keep," and he lets you go. Not every boss does. Yours does. You understand that you owe him something for that. You will always owe him something for that. You have 12 years of organizational management experience, debt mediation, conflict resolution, logistics, personnel. You cannot list any of it. Your resume is 11 years of blank space. And your neck. Even with the collar up, even with the long sleeves, your neck tells the story in the first 30 seconds. 17 interviews, 17 polite rejections, 1 security guard who points at the exit before you even sit down. The city that made the Yakuza necessary has no use for the people it produced. You run out of money in 4 months. You stand outside the door for 11 minutes. You count. The first time you walked through it, you were 19 and didn't hesitate. Now you are 32, and you understand exactly what walking back through it means. It means the civilian world lost. It means the tattoos won. It means this is the only place that will have you. You push the door open. The boss you knew is still there, but the meth has been through him. Not in him, he never used, but through the organization, through the men. The Yakuza you left ran on hierarchy, ritual, discipline. The one you return to is faster, cheaper, angrier. The ceremony is the same. The men are not the same. You note this. You file it. You say nothing. You go back to work. You are very good at it. This has not changed. But now you're watching the exit at the same time, studying the structure from inside it, learning which walls hold weight and which ones are just for show. The Yakuza is tightening. The government crackdowns of the 2000s are taking effect. The old construction contracts are gone. The police are more coordinated. The organization is getting smaller, and smaller organizations get more violent, and more violent organizations get more stupid. You start planning your second exit. This time, you plan it like a professional. This time, you don't look back. You are 41. The boss you swore to is gone. The man who replaced him doesn't know what he has in you. He sees a middle-aged woman in a back office role. This is a mistake. You do not correct it. You take 2 years to position yourself for the exit. You do everything clean. No debts, no enemies who have the energy to pursue, no loose ends. The day you leave completely. No ceremony this time, no cup of sake, no words. You just stop showing up. And nobody comes for you, which tells you exactly how much they understood about who they had. The world is still the same. The tattoos still close doors. But you are not the same person who ran out of money in 4 months. You know things now about how organizations fail, about how people make decisions under pressure, about what happens to men when the hierarchy around them collapses. You find the work that needs exactly what you have, former Yakuza reintegration counseling. Men who are where you were at 32, standing outside a door, counting the minutes, knowing the only world they know is behind them, and the only world available is in front of them, and the gap between the two is enormous and cold. You know that gap. You measured it with your own feet. You sit across from men who remind you of people you used to be afraid of, and you help them. Not because you forgave the organization, not because you have any warmth for what it cost you, because the men in this room are not the organization. They are what the organization left behind, same as you. You understand each other without having to explain anything. That is the only thing the Yakuza ever gave you that was actually worth something. Fluency in a language that nobody else speaks. Here is what you gave to this. 12 years of your 20s and 30s running at full capacity inside a world that would never acknowledge what you were. A career that cannot be documented. A body marked permanently by a choice you made at 19. The tip of another man's finger that you cut because he could not. And the quiet fact that you are the only woman who has ever done this. Which sounds like distinction. What it actually is loneliness. The specific loneliness of doing something no one has ever done. With no map, no predecessors, no one to ask. You navigated the most rigid hierarchy in the modern world, without a title that matched your function, without a rank that reflected your capability, without a ceremony designed for what you were. And you did it anyway. You are the only one. Not because you were the bravest, not because you were the strongest, because you were the clearest. You saw what you were at 15. You walked toward it at 19. You survived what it cost you at 32. And you built something from the wreckage at 41. The organization you swore your life to no longer exists in the same form. The boss who saw you is gone. The ceremony, the cups, the ritual, still happening. Somewhere. With different men. They will never have another you. They don't know that yet. You do.